behaviour she's showing, the fact that she could have really hurt that farrier.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes, she could have.
You know.
And she, every time the vet has to try and struggle to sedate her, she could really hurt the vet.
Whoa. Stop. Backed away. Come. Oh, she loves this. It's nearly all gone. We should have bought two. That's a nice picture. Her last resort is rear or kick.
Yeah.
I would say she's struck some people with the front foot in the past, I would say.
I'm sure she has.
Okay,
I
so
think
again...
when Niall had her in the rescue first, he said she just used to rear up at him all the time.
Do not come in.
Yeah, she wouldn't do that with me. See, I'd have to get out of her way. She'd be walking straight through me.
Yes, I know. Well, she's shown me that there is hope.
Good.
That's the main thing. I mean...
I thought there was. I thought there was some hope.
That's how it all goes.
Well, I'm not giving up on her.
Is that the best you felt around her, really? Would you say?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice picture, that is. That's awesome. Hi guys. Her name's Willow. Not sure how old she is. Basically, she's an abandoned mare. A couple of years ago, she was found just abandoned on a highway, and the RSPCA took her in, and so she's a rescue really. And the RSPCA realised that she was quite a dangerous mare. I think they thought about putting her to sleep, but in the end, someone local, fairly local to us, within 20 miles anyway, made the decision that they wanted to take her on. And that's how I got involved. Basically, the horse can't have its feet trimmed or looked at without being sedated. It's very, very dangerous with farriers. It's kick farriers, so it has to be sedated. That now has come run its course because the vet now can't sedate it, can't inject it. Oral won't touch her at all, so she needs to be injected. That can't happen, so the horse is in desperate need of having its feet trimmed and looked at, and the horse is becoming more and more dangerous. You know, the owner was told, you've got to be careful because she's a serial rearer. So I got involved with this horse. I'm quite invested into it now. It's a couple of months ago when I first went to see it. The owner has made it quite clear that the horse is going nowhere, so I'm invested enough now that I've got to try and keep her safe, try and change the way the horse thinks about people and its feet being handled. Okay, so that gives you a brief of where I am. I've been 3 times. It will be a continuation for me. I've got to a stage now where I can put a video out, and there'll be another stage next year. And I'll put a series on again. Now, the whole, I've done about 7-8 hours, I would have said, with the horse over 3 different occasions. That is all on my, virtually no editing, is on my supporters group. This is for the world to see, and I've condensed it down to a reasonable size for it to go on for people to watch. And there's an awful lot of learning, a lot taking place here. Fortunately, I'm in one piece. It was one of the only times Tanya has been very, very worried about my safety with horses, but I'm okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I will butt in quite a few times to explain what I'm looking for and the signs to be able to move on to the next thing that I'm doing. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Yeah, okie doke. Horses, we have vestiges about just like what your horses.
But they're usually all over the country.
Yeah, we have to. But there's a lot of these rescue horses that you just don't know what their histories are. You don't know. It could have been really traumatic for her.
I think it has.
So okay, you're going to see a photo now of when Sarah rescued Willow. and you can see how emaciated she is. And you know, when they're abandoned like this, you have no idea of the history. You have no idea. You know, the horse was never claimed. I mean, with some weight on now, the horse looks wonderful. You'd never, you know, just abandon a horse and just let it go. So I think, you know, I personally am in the opinion that she's probably hurt somebody. It's learned behaviour. It's symptoms of a cause. She might have been beaten. You know, you just don't know. And there are signs during the video that I think she protects herself in a way that she thinks she's going to be beaten. So I think she's hurt someone, and the people, because it costs a lot of money to get rid of a horse these days. We all, you know, the burying, and you're not allowed to bury them on our own land anymore, and that sort of thing. So I think she's been tucked somewhere and just let out because she hurt someone. That's what I think. But you'll see the photograph now of where she was at when she was rescued.
Got an audience. She bit me once when I went to adjust her rug when she was eating.
Right. So when I stopped.
Oh.
So I just ignore that. That was pretty much the first interaction I had with Willow, and all I did was ask her to stop and not move into my space, and it was immediate, wasn't it? You know, symptoms of causes, whatever the causes were, she immediately tried to intimidate me, and it was so important right in that moment. Then, did it shock me? Yeah, came from nowhere, but I kind of expected it. Not quite so close with the hooves to me, to be honest. Which is why on the next visit I'm all helmeted up and whatever. But it was so important right there and then that I didn't show her that I was frightened. And probably for the first time, maybe ever, she was quite shocked because she didn't intimidate me and I backed her off me. Okay, that's a real interesting point of the whole process, was that little moment right there. With her kicking out and things like that, very often she's confused about who is the hierarchy, and if I can show her that I will move her feet but she doesn't move mine, whichever feet I want to move, like this one here, I'm looking at that foot, so then I've just said that's what I wanted. So what I'll do a little bit of groundwork now, just to try and, without her getting aggressive with me, if possible, just to show her that I'm a good leader to her, but I need to be able to move her. She doesn't move me.
Yep.
And very often, when that can really get set in to their mind, they won't be aggressive so much, and they will allow more of us, you know. So I need to be able to take her back end around, which I can. I always check both sides out. Stop. Now, here she's blocking me out a little bit, so I'm going to just bump her till she just gives me, but I'm looking at her feet. Do you notice how I'm looking at her feet all the time? Like, so I looked at it, when she took it, stop her. Come on now. So now I'm being able to be a little bit firmer with her, which means she knows I can be firm with her. Like, it's all about space. I'm being able to back her away from me. Yep. Okay. Right. Now I'm getting a little bit of respect to space here already. Like when I stop, look. Now that was 2 paces too much, so I've just said, no, not keen on you coming into me. When I stop, I need her to stop. Go on. may have intimidated some people.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I think that's why she keeps doing it, because
What?
that's why she keeps doing it, because she knows it works.
Yeah, but it didn't intimidate me. And she might try something else in a minute. She's tried the rearing thing. Thought, oh, that never, because they can sense fear, you see.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I must be a bit something wrong with me, because it didn't frighten me. Most people that would kind of, and she'd sense it. They're masters of perception.
Yeah.
So if that would have happened with you, you might have gone quite rightly, because it's our natural instinct.
Yeah.
There's a beast doing this, which one hoof could kill you in a second.
Sometimes, I've got to be honest, sometimes just when I go to get her with a head collar on, I think, is she going to do anything to me? And I'm having to suppress that nervousness, you know?
Right, she's tried her little thing. Now I need her to back away from me when I ask. So I'm going to start really asking her.
I might just go in the shelter because I can feel the wind a bit.
Okay. Now what I'm going to start doing is using the equipment now to back her off a little bit. Stop.
What do you need?
She would have definitely been. She probably knows about sticks in her past.
She doesn't like sticks.
No.
Even if you lift the hose pipe off, anything above her head, she doesn't
okay,
like,
we got
really.
my flag then a minute. Yeah, she would have been whacked on. Because very often a horse has been difficult. People don't know what to do, so they get on, you know, they'll beat them up a bit. She's had that, I would say.
Yep. She used to have a real big problem with men, much more than she has now as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So just the sight of my bunion stick was enough. She was all wide-eyed at that, so I thought, well, no, she's been beaten with a stick. Without a doubt, that showed up. So I was trying to think of some things to try which might help Sarah, the owner, when I'm all done with everything, to give her some tools to be able to back the horse off. So I give the flag a little go, and I will have to work on the flagging at a later date properly. Which she started to see as information right at the beginning, and then the little rescue started to get really upset about it, because unfortunately there's no round pen there's no arena. It's a couple of fields divided by a little car parking bit, and there's a shelter, but a lot of bad things have happened in the shelter, so I didn't want to associate all of this what I was doing with the shelter at this stage. So it all goes a bit Pete Tong now with the flag, but I'll leave it in, keep it all honest. So yeah, it's been interesting, but it's kind of exasperated by the rescue, and I'm pretty sure we moved the rescue over to the other field after that, because it was kind of, they key into each other quite a lot, these two rescues. They're quite connected, obviously with being rescues in the backgrounds, and things haven't been great for them. So yeah, you'll see this now. So that's forward. It's the other one that's upset.
Yeah, it is,
Do
isn't
you want
it?
me to take her out?
Where can we put her?
I can put her. Well,
Shall I turn this off a sec?
Yeah. So we managed to move the other horse, the other little rescue, into another paddock. I did about 5 minutes or so with the flag, so I finished on a better note with it just moving around me and not being too frightened of it. But I didn't want to continue with that because I knew Sarah would have difficulties with the flag if she tried to emulate it. So I told her, you don't do that, you know. So I went back to the lead rope because the stick, it's definitely that's associated with being whacked on, and the flag, I thought that the wrong signals would be you've got to really know what you're doing with those flags with a horse like Willow, because although Willow was escaping from me more than anything at the beginning, she could have turned that into aggression and hurt someone, you know, fight or flight. So I'll carry on. Now she's giving me space there. Do you see that, Tam?
Mm-hmm.
You might be not realising what's going on, but I'm having to get space on her front end here. See how she's giving me space?
Yep.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Like this way. Like if she's coming in there. Don't want her coming in. Right. See how she gave?
Yep.
I'm looking for her to give me, to not come in.
Yeah, she wouldn't do that with me. See, I'd have to get out of her way. She'd be walking straight through me.
Yes, I know. And it's always worked for her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's making her more frightened. So I'm trying to balance here, not get myself killed. Trying to get her ideas to not load up into me and rear and all of that stuff, and to back off me without upsetting her to the stage where she'll run off. You know, she still might. So there's a lot of delicate stuff going on here at the moment with her space with me, expressions. There's a lot taking place. Because when I was asking her here, she was just coming here. What I'm trying to get in her mind is she gives me space. She doesn't move me, I move her.
Yep.
And that's the kind of thing that can start changing an aggressive horse. Because she is an aggressive horse. It's what is, it's what she's learned, it's the life she's lived. She's protecting herself.
Yep.
You know, so there's a lot taking place here. So here, I want her to go. I want her to go. Right, did you see her move away?
Yeah.
She'd give it, look, did you see her space then?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've been trying to build for a little while. Stop. I don't want to, my space is my space. And the more, that was unrequested forward motion. Did you see her start to come into me without me asking?
Mm-hmm. She's
So I look
leaning.
at that foot. She would have never had anybody like me doing this. So it's a lot for her to cope with. It's one of her biggest life lessons yet. She's starting to think that I'm so effective. There's a language going on here, and she's not frightening the life out of me. She should be. That's what I say. There's something definitely not right, because I can feel what could take place here. You know, her last resort is rear or kick.
Yeah.
I would say she's struck some people with the front foot in the past, I would say.
I'm sure she has.
Okay,
I
so
think
again...
when Niall had her in the rescue first, he said she just used to rear up at him all the time.
Yeah. But do you see what I do when she does rear? Now that was unrequested, but it was more of a... Did you feel something different about that? It was more of a, oh, let's try and be together.
Yeah,
so
it
although...
wasn't forceful.
Yeah, although... see, I'm just showing her now. There's a little bit of a softer side to this as well. That okay, I'm a leader to her, but I'm fair, a fair kindness, but
You do what I want.
so here.
Fair but firm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, do you see what just happened there? Oh, you missed that.
Sorry. Put my phone on silent.
Yeah. So don't start that, because if you start that, we're going to just keep going back. Right, so she tried her little rear again. So each time she rears, I will put, there's nothing in it for her in the end because I just back her up. Take no notice of the rear. You know, I know this is a feet issue with having to sedate her.
Well, no, it's a handling issue.
Yeah, I was just about to say. You've just took the word.
Her feet is the worst of it, but it's a handling issue.
Yeah. Now she's stuck there. Yes, it is a handling. It's not just feet. So the handling comes before the feet.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a lot needs to take place before.
Yep.
Before that. So okay, so I'm going to keep going on because the biggest change you'll find is when she arranges around me. So she gives me the space I want. Because that's how they work, alpha to subservient horses. And neither one is better than the other. Neither one is better. But if you can do it that you're the alpha as a good leader to them, but you are in charge, I control their feet, that's when you can have a big breakthrough with the horse.
Am I going to be able to change that now she's been with me so long though?
Well, it's gonna, I don't know. I think with some visits, I think I can get somewhere with this. Starting to believe that. The big question is, and I won't sugarcoat this. I'll tell you after a couple of sessions exactly what you need to know from me. How you deal with that, as long as my conscience is clear that I tell you what my feelings are, then you deal with it how you want. But
yeah.
This is not just, I owe everything to the horse, right? My living, my everything. But I also owe a lot to you. I'm working for you. So I will tell you the absolute truth. If I think you're going to get really hurt, then I have to tell you. Agreed?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you as I really think. And I'm not sure yet. All right? I'm not sure yet. Okay, so again, I want her to... Now, did you see what happened with her front end? Are you seeing something? She's not coming here. She's going to go. Say if you've asked me there to go to you, to go past you, she was doing this before.
Yeah.
Now, watch me. I'm going to go round you, I'm doing this. So I'm giving you the space. Look. See her go out?
Mm-hmm.
You should have seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for these little spots now where she's feeling good about moving around me. Okay. Nice. Now. So that was a little lunge, a little disengagement. I'm just going to keep telling her she doesn't encroach on my... I've got a little circle.
Yep.
And if this goes as far as continuation for you, you will have a circle. You must not let her, unless you invite her in, your circle will be everything. When she realises you have no more circle, the rearing, the kicking, the pulling, all the not letting you catch it, it all comes from this. So okay. Has anyone ever lunged her here?
No.
Although this is not proper lunging, it's the same thing, but slower. So I'm not only controlling her shoulder away, her backing away from me, I need to also control her forward motion. So if I control the forward motion, she doesn't go forward unless I ask. So I have to control that. So that's what I'm working on now. So I'm starting to get the hind end like this, you know, across them. Yeah. That's the power. So I'm proving to her that she can have no power of flight and still live through it. I can get her shoulder to move away from me, which is really hard for horses that are a little bit like her to do. Now I'm working on forward motion. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Nice, right. Now. Oh. You see a difference in attitude there?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell by the look on her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her
And
gentle,
that will,
kind face.
Yeah.
you know, she'll keep searching with these attitudes. But if you can get rid of these attitudes with the groundwork and then work towards the feet and deal with it as the attitude changes. So if I just came here and went like a farrier for the feet, she'd kick my head off. I know that's what would happen with some of the behaviour she's learnt. So what I would do first is get to where the attitude is good on the ground. This is all the groundwork and the control and the togetherness, but with me being the alpha, with her being not the alpha. And as soon as she realises she doesn't have to be the alpha, she can relax. And you know, there's a lot taking place here. I can see the aggression, I can see her weighing me up, thinking, yeah, you think you're clever, but any minute now I'm going to rear up, I'm going to strike out at you, and you're going to do like everyone else. It didn't happen for her. So it's been a big deal for her. When I asked her to move around me, she said, well, you can try that, but I'm going to get a bit arsey and I'm going to push into you. And that didn't work. So she's starting to... Now, the reason I've gone to talking now, because she's so nice in the way she did that, this is where she learns. She hasn't had me moving her feet now, and the last thing she think about was that time I just asked her, go around me, she said yes, how fast, how much of a nice attitude do you want from me? Yeah? So, look at the look on her face.
Oh, I know, she wouldn't, I don't think she'd stand that long, that calmly for me. She'd be off.
So I'd worked for a couple of hours doing all the groundwork, insisting on my bobble, and the little spot I was waiting for is just about to happen now. Just came, and her whole attitude, you'll see it in front of you where she just says, okay, let's be buddies, but I'm the one that runs the partnership, and things change so much for the better for the whole of everything. From that little moment there, things got so much better. Yes, there was still peaks and troughs, which you will see, but just have a look, see whether you can notice what I'm trying to get over, and looking at the whole horse, the whole expression, and an acceptance right there. Just see. Again.
I think she's quite clever as well. I think she works things out.
Now I'm being real soft with her, but sometimes you can go soft like this, and then they'll kind of think, oh, that's it now.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of if I have to back her. I've built up a way now of getting her off me, away from me. I've built that up, so if she came in here, there'd be nothing in it for her, because she'd have to back away, you know. So I'm being soft here now with her. See if I can lower her head a little bit. Okay, play with this a little bit. There, she lowered that quite quickly. Her expression's changing a little.
Yeah.
In that, yeah. Right? I'm not stepping back. I'm not stepping back. I'm allowing that. There's a difference, you know. I'm holding nothing now. My hands are open. My hands are open. Now there's a lead into driving exercise, which I can't do unfortunately because of this. I reckon a couple of weeks, and this will be in a place where I can really, we could set up. Does she blast her electric fence or anything?
No, she's very respectful of fences.
Is she really? That's great news, because what we could do with doing is setting up a little bit of a brown pen. Depending on where I am, I might start to think about running my hands down. Because if the last thought of me is this, no harm come to her from me.
No.
I didn't ask too much of her, but I managed to get somewhere with these feet. And the rear end, I got a feeling that's kind of, she's not searching there at the moment, is she? You know. Do you mind if you don't do too much with her now? I mean, you can come here if you want, but.
No, absolutely, fine. I
Yeah.
could be completely directed by you.
See, Tanya, they are about.
Yeah, it's just that I have no desire to go near her back end.
No,
At the
and
moment.
you're quite right, because the behaviour she's showing, the fact that she could have really hurt that farrier.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes, she could have.
You know.
And she, every time the vet has to try and struggle to sedate her, right, she could really hurt the vet.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
You're
why
in
we
a...
gave up last time, because it was just too dangerous. That's why I feel.
Well, I'm willing to give it a go if you want me to. I think as soon as that's better, so I can run around the round pen, she's shown me that there is hope.
Good.
That's the main thing. I mean,
I thought there was. I thought there was some hope.
But again, we have to wait and see how it all goes.
Well, I'm not giving up on her, so.
Fantastic. You know what? Fantastic. But you've got to remember, you can't get hurt.
Oh no. However that means she ends up being, you know, she'll stay here, whatever.
Awesome. Fantastic.
That's why Mikey gave me her, because he knew I wouldn't get rid of her.
There you go. So we're going to have to work on with this then.
I'll turn this then. Want to say anything?
So this is the second visit to this horse. It's been longer than really I would have liked. It's been just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really didn't need to be that long, but
The lady works away.
Yeah, and with my diary, it's just worked out. But the next visit is going to have to be in shorter succession. See how we get on today. I viewed some of the footage of the last visit, and I've got a good idea today what I'm intending to do. I bought some protective gear with me because finding out more about this mare, I mean, she is a serial striker. She strikes with her front feet, and I was quite lucky maybe with a couple of the rears and strikes she did last time. And you've got to remember, this mare was abandoned, and I'm convinced it was took in a lorry somewhere or a trailer miles from home and just left because it was never claimed. Maybe it hurt someone and they just wanted it gone. I think that's probably what's happened. So I've got a helmet today. Because I'm hoping at the end of the round penning to be able to pick its feet up front and back in preparation for Dan and my son-in-law to come hopefully on the next visit to trim. You know, I've got to be very careful, and I've got my cricket box as well.
To protect your crown jewels.
That's it. Yeah, so yeah, going to be very careful today, but I've got to be also careful that she doesn't realise that I'm being a bit of a scaredy cat. You know, they can really read into that. They're masters of perception of it. So I've got to be very careful that I don't show any lack of confidence at the same time, even though I am very aware I don't want to get myself hurt, and I think she could easily do that. So yeah, let's see how we got on. What's the day like, Tanya? It's not too bad. It's not raining.
It's not too
a little
bad.
bit of wind.
Overcast, but not
Yeah.
too bad.
When doing jobs like this, outside like this with a
It
horse.
is windy where we're going, mind.
Yeah.
She's quite exposed.
Yeah, but it's not the. You know, I don't like to do this sort of job when it's very cold, windy, and a little bit of rain. It can exasperate things, especially when they get cold and wet ears. A horse like this can be really grouchy and could even put more effort into being difficult and being evasive. So yeah, we'll cut that off now. And cottages,
Very old.
they were so close to the road for the
Horse and
carts, yeah, and the milk deliveries and stuff like that. Amazing, isn't it? What's her name? Willow, wasn't it? There she is.
Horse is Willow.
There she is. There she is. She's going to try and get their head colour on. There she is.
Shelter.
Oh, and the other horse, the little troublemaker, is sulking, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's sulking there, look.
Yeah. She wants to
Another
watch.
little rescue.
Another little rescue.
Alright, okay, let's get the check. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we're ready to start the second session. and it turns out Willow was being difficult to catch that day. It sometimes happens. I think the fact that the other rescue had been put in the other field and they were separated, and Willow got up about it, and she just decided she wasn't, you know, she didn't want to be caught. So we put Willow in the section between the two fields, so she was enclosed in there. We made the round pen. Me, Tanya and Sarah did a great job of this little round pen. Fair play to Sarah, she bought all the stays that I asked her to get, and she'd got a lot of it though already, but we set a cracking little round pen, makeshift round pen up, and then I said, right, it won't be any trouble, I'll soon catch Willow in the little enclosure. Well, she was being, I mean, I didn't waste anything. You know, I always say from a negative you can get positives, which is what I did. I kind of went through a process of teaching her not to flee from me with the one eye and the two eye thing. But this little next clip is a really interesting one. Willow sort of went down a little ravine because I was sort of insisting on, she looks at me, I put a little bit of pressure on. She went down this little ravine, and I wonder what was down there, and I sort of noticed a track. But obviously they go down there and they come back up. So I stood there, and Willow, I always say horses, we always move a horse. They never, ever, ever can move us. But there is a time when that has to go out the window. And this little point here is where it goes out the window, because she got a little bit worried down in this ravine, and you could see where she always comes up. And I was stood blocking this way up, and I looked at her. I looked down the ravine, and I looked at her. She looked at me, and she just started coming flat out up this little track. And I could tell, I just looked at her, she weren't moving. If I'd have stood there, I'm pretty sure she'd have knocked me flying, and I got hurt. So you'll see, when push, it's all right me saying they never move me, but this is quite a funny bit because she did move me, and I got out of the way pretty quick. You'll see that now. But she got caught after fairly quickly, and then we went down the round pen.
Whoa.
So what I'm doing here, I'm advancing and retreating quite a bit, so she knows if she stays where she is, doesn't flee, nothing's coming of it. And the only time people who eat meat, we eat meat, but it's all true, predator prey. The only time there's two eyes zoomed on, putting pressure on a prey animal, they're eating, aren't they?
Yeah.
So she doesn't like that when I start doing this, because I'm zooming on her, aren't I?
Yeah, yeah.
So then suddenly, when she looks at me, it's all gone. My eyes shut and it's all gone. So it's so simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
So can you understand why I might release her from that now?
Yes. She's done what you wanted her to.
She said, okay, I won't bite you, I won't pin my ears, I won't try and flee, I won't try the charge. Did you see her come at me there, the one time?
Yeah.
With the pinned ears?
Yeah.
Searching, what will get rid of him? Now she's accepted it, would be the time you would just bugger off. And she would think about that. And then the following day it would be half as bad. The following day, eventually you just walk in here and you catch her. So it's a process. Okay, so we're going to head down now. If you can bring the stuff there, we're going to head down to the round pen and do some round penning with her. Tanya.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do something now. Yeah. I'm going to sit on here and I'm going to go above her
Yeah.
and just get her to move her feet around me and just show her I'm above her a little bit, which I think may improve the some things. You with what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm above her. So we're going to see how we get on with that.
Okay. Go away, wind.
So you might have to change positions.
Yeah, it's very, it's a little bit windy.
I'm above her like a lion would be. She found it. Do you see her stop herself then? So that's the start of siding up. And I'm achieving quite a lot there. Touching her rump, saying, we're alright, we're okay. Now I can get a little bit more, you know. Picture I didn't ride bareback in it for you.
Pauline Gallipot.
Yeah, imagine that.
That'll be a hell of a video.
So she's not trying to pull the rope now, she might in a minute. Now I've thought it. Where the girth goes, everything. And I've left her alone completely, other than make it nice for her, because she's exactly where you would want to get on her.
Yeah.
This is a mountain block I'm on.
Yeah.
She's finding comfort there. How nice for you to be able to just get up on your mountain block. There's some of the quite high stepped ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've got one,
Yeah.
which would be perfect for you, almost just stick your leg over.
Yeah.
She's very wide and flat backed, I'm
I
noticing.
know. Struggle to find a saddle for her.
Yeah. You know, we couldn't use a horse with a back like this for cow work, as they call it, for ranch work, because the saddles, if you had the rope this way
Yeah.
with a calf, there would be nothing to lock in. It's
Yeah.
got no withers for that.
She's very
So
flat.
the saddles would just slip. You just go over like that.
I've noticed you ride Western
Yeah.
You know,
To be honest
they look
though,
nice, don't they?
yeah, they look nice and they're very comfortable and they can lock you in. I fall off a lot less than a Western one.
Yeah. You've got a deeper seat, maybe. isn't it?
Yeah, and they're comfortable for the horses.
Well,
they're very
They're
comfortable.
built to ride all day.
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah. They spread the weight,
Yeah.
but like I say, you'd have to have a very, very extra wide one for this.
Yeah. I've
You'd
got
have to
the
have a
rope.
back cinch as well.
Oh,
Just
okay.
But you don't just put one on. You have to prepare your horse for that.
Okay.
Because you could, a lot of people will put a back cinch on and the horse bucks. It's like
Yeah.
when the rodeos, have you seen what actually makes them buck? As they come out the chute, they pull under their flank with a rope. As they shoot out, it tightens up under there. That's what
Yeah.
makes them buck. And then when the cowboy's gone, they're still bucking, but the pickup riders, which are the other horses, run to the side and pull it off as a quick release. Then they start bucking.
My first pony, if I touched her there, where you just did with her, she
Yeah.
would buck. She could have a good old buck.
Yeah.
Just for me touching her there. It's quite good fun when I was
Yeah. Pen? Let's put Willow in. She's in. Not a bad makeshift round pen.
So it's important before I do anything, she calms down in here. You know. So what I'm going to do on one eye, you see how I'm travelling around to my left? Travelling around on my left, she's starting to settle a bit. I'm going to obviously do it on the right hand side. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, rather than just lead her there, I'm going to lead her past me to check. So I use
that a little bit in my favour. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start using the body control for everything, not just lead her around endlessly. Stop. Really good. I need her to be with me. So if I'm a youngster going somewhere, she's with me. And if I'm an old man one day, I need her to come slowly with me. You see?
Yeah.
This is all about her,
Respecting.
you know, being with us. Thinking about it. If it was a solid round pen, I might take the halter off. I'm going to leave it on and tie it round.
Clear rope?
Yeah. Now what I'm going to do now is quite different to what a lot of people would do with round penning work. It's very important to me now how important, more important how she leaves me than how she comes to me. So I want to control her movement and be able to hook onto her so she'll follow me round eventually. But that's not my main concern at first. It's how she'll leave me, with what attitude she'll leave. And I won't over pressurise and throw in ropes really badly behind her, because some people straight away will throw a rope behind a horse so it leaves scared to death. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So I found round penning, it's better to do it, just go quietly.
Yeah.
Right? No throwing ropes behind her to make her flee from me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ease her around. So I'm what's called driving her now. I'm driving her. And doing this, you can assess how a horse moves nicely. You can see a lot about it, you know. I've done initially a very small round pen, but this could be widened out for you to learn to ride again in you know. So I'm just gonna. Now I'm gonna close her down. See if I can get her to just see how she hooked on then. Two eyes. There's no need to chase them around like mad people. As she gave me two eyes then, she came to me, didn't she?
Yeah.
So we'll try again. Wow, this is happening now. So that little work there, which we took advantage of for the catching, showing up all here. Crazy, isn't it?
Mind blowing.
Sorry?
It's mind blowing. Can't believe it. Good old Willow. And you. Good, oh, bless her. She's done well.
Yeah.
Of course it is, yeah.
It's Willow, you know.
Of course it's Willow. But, right, so I'm going to go the other way now. Now think about which eye.
I said that wrongly. I didn't expect her to behave herself so well. Not
Yeah,
that you.
I know. I'm only joking.
He's only teasing.
Now, if I asked you which eye she was looking at then, me going round, she was looking at the eye that we always lead them on. We
Okay.
do everything on. She was going, which way was she going? She was going this way, wasn't she? Yeah. She was, wasn't she?
Dude.
But yeah. But there's a reason for that. Because with the other eye, she may be a little bit more up because we don't do as much in that eye.
Yeah.
So I've let her just relax now. She would always be better on the eye that I sent her out on.
We're always on that side, aren't we?
Yes, correct. So then we'll see. But again, it's more important how she leaves me. So a couple of weeks of this, she would just, my horses, I asked them to go, and that, yes, how fast, where, and that. That takes time,
Yeah.
but that's more important than throwing a rope behind them and making them flee. I try to explain this to people because there's certain systems that do that, you know, they make them really run off scared, like. There is no need for it in my book. But there's a lot of success the other way as well. But just for me, it doesn't work as well.
Is that because by making them scared, it makes they think it makes it more a greater benefit when they take that pressure off? Is that what they think?
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe. But I mean, look.
I mean, I'd rather they weren't scared, to be honest.
Exactly.
It means I don't want my horse fleeing. So I'll ask again now. Now that go out. That is a good attitude for me. That is good. She left nicely. Now I stopped clucking as soon as she went into the trot. As comfortable this side,
no.
the eye, but it would build, you know. She stays nicely on the outside, so that's telling us she's had some kind of lunging done, and you know she's not wanted to come in all the time. Now I'm going to close up now. Look. And because I shut my eyes just for a second, she knows if she's looking at me with two eyes, and she'll probably come this way. Two eyes, stop, backed away, come. Come this way. So now she's lost me, so just a bit of pressure. She can work out now, look, putting a bit of pressure on. She can work out now, as soon as she gives me two eyes again, and I do this for days like. Tell her how good she is. Now I'm going to look at her foot, which will be her left, and I'm going to try and move that left back. Gone. She knew I was looking at it. She wasn't sure if I meant for her to go. She's trying that hard. See if she'll hook onto me a bit here. So a little bit of pressure, little bit of pressure, little bit of pressure. She can just make it. If she doesn't, we'll make use of it. So as soon as she considered me, I just took the pressure off. Now we'll back her up. 1, 2. Tell her how good she is and give her 2 minutes now. That all made sense to you? You wouldn't do this at home, folks, with a horse that can. That's a nice picture, isn't it? Eh? Yeah, we're going to give it 5 more minutes now, and then we're going to have a look at me doing something with the feet. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Look on her face, eh?
You might have to wake her up in a minute.
That's what we want, isn't it? We'll let her. Do you know what we're going to do? Just going to let her have a little graze now. Think about that, because again, she's doing everything of us I'm asking. Things have gone so well this morning, and even the things have gone which didn't go to plan, we've made positives out of them. I'm really happy with where we are in the round pen. So now I'm going to see if I can
do your hat up.
Do me hat up first. See if we can do the feet. I can play with the feet, obviously.
Got to protect
Protect
those jewels.
You're going to see me put that in. But yeah. So what she's doing is
planting.
She's loading.
Yeah, loading.
She's loading her foot. So what happens is
I
there.
always have to try and get her off balance.
Yeah. Can't. Yeah. What she's doing there. She was considering nipping me probably then. That's what that was about. And every time, the more I'm asking, the more she's pulling all away. Okay. So we're going to try and change her feeling on that. What I'm going to do, I want her to load the other foot and lift this one. Okay. So I'm going to put a bit of pressure there, a little bit of pressure, and I'm going to keep the pressure on. She's going to search now. The pressure will come off when she took the weight off. Okay. Tell her how good she was. Okay. So do that again, and as she changes the weight to her other foot, right? Did you see her start to think about it then?
Yeah.
Tell her how good she is. Give her a little break between it. If her expression changes, I might back her off me. Okay. So now I'm gonna hold that there till the weight. You see how the weight started to come off? Pull her foot up. Okay, so we've got a rope here with a splice on it. Okay, it's like all our lead ropes have splices on. You see the splice?
Yep.
And we can use them for all sorts of things, for leading a horse, for doing this sort of thing. So there's no metal clasp, it's a splice. There's an art to doing it. Tanya hasn't worked out the art yet, so we have to pay quite a lot of money to have it put in. Right? Right, so I can unweight it now. See how she's, while that rope's on, she's on her tiptoe.
She is.
Look.
And her face is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go down, pick it up. Tell her how good she is.
Always had to be sedated every single time.
Oh.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
So it's most of her life, really.
No, she's already telling me this is the foot. She's telling me this is the foot. You see how she knows my intention
Yeah.
Yep.
on this foot, and she's already moved.
Yeah.
So I'll move her now. She's offered a stop there. She offered that stop a little bit. So I'll just, because she's moving, okay? Because she's moving, I'm moving her now. You know, So I've let her say no, but I've moved her for it. Right? So now I'll give her a choice. Now she didn't move. Now she didn't move. Her expression's not the best, but it's not at the point where she might kick me at that moment in time. Now she's putting her head here, saying no, don't go there.
Right.
You see that then?
Yeah.
Yeah. She wants you in that way.
See how?
Mm.
Something about this side, this
Yeah.
foot.
Mm.
So you're just reading the signs, really. What I'm doing is, see your expression?
Yep.
Moving this foot. You're for being not so cooperating with a farrier, so a farrier could have grasped under the belly. It happens. So she's telling me, you see the difference here?
Yeah.
You know, it's evident, you know. So, that's what it took to get this on. See the difference with this foot
Yeah.
to the other one? Right, so I'll just keep going here with this. Right. Your farriers maybe wouldn't pin it down to what I'm pinning it down to, and they would just think it's just, you know, part of it, but I'm pinning it down now. She's just clearly told us she's not happy with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and I want to try and show her that this foot is no different than the others ones. Okay, so now she's considering it now, see, and I'm giving her the time to process it. See? Okay. Now we get there. Right, we've got to let her sit on that now.
Okay, sorry about the wind noise, guys. I just noticed how loud it was on there. It started to really blow. Can't help it sometimes, a little bit of wind noise. So yeah, sorry about that. We're pretty much finished there. What a great session that was in the end. I felt good about everything. The only thing that was left to do was, I don't know if anyone noticed at the beginning when I took Willow into the round pen for the first time, she scooted in. So I had a good idea she was going to scoot back out, but I didn't want to, the last feeling for her in that round pen, which is where I intend to do all the foot trimming and everything, the last feeling of it, I don't want her to think escape. So it's really important. You'll see that now. I'll work on that a little bit, sending her through to make the last thought not too bad, for her to come out not fleeing the round pen. So that's why I'm going to do what I do now.
Enough now, to be honest.
He's done well.
We've ended up at a real good spot, and I can have my cap on now. Take the old box out. Right. each time, that would want to get better.
Okay, here's the third visit, D-Day, when I'd arranged with Dan James, the farrier who deals with the more difficult horses with me, Charlotte's partner. So I'd arranged for him to come at a certain time. I said I'd get there an hour early to get the horse as ready as I could for him in the round pen. I decided to do it in the round pen and kind of make it the horse's idea to stand still for us. So that's what you'll see now, the process of me. Now, if things hadn't have gone well enough and I thought Willow might hurt Dan, I would not have continued with that. I'd have done more sessions, got more ready. So it's an interesting session of changing a horse's perception of what's her idea and what's our idea, matching up. So it's really interesting. So this is the start now of the third session, and yes.
Okay, so Dan's due in about 45 minutes, I would think. Dan Farrier, Dan James. Now, what I've done, we've just caught her. I think Tanya managed to film that. She's been. I've just asked Sarah. Am I alright to say your name?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You just did.
Oh, yeah, I did, but I could have. I'm getting good at editing now.
It's fine.
Yeah, great. So Sarah has just commented that she's been a little bit different in herself. Like usually when you catch her, she'll put her head up and she'll be a bit evasive, and she's starting to put her head down for Sarah to catch her. So there's little things like that. I mean, they say little things, but there's nothing bigger than the little things, and that was lovely to hear. She's picking her correct leads up, and she's not disuniting, so it's nothing back end, I don't think, something stifly, or you know, there's just something on the front, yeah. Right. Now she's starting to look for me more now. She's the stage I wanted to get to, so I'm quite happy with that. Oh, remembered that beautifully. Oh, she lower her head a little bit. See, they don't never forget nothing. See?
No.
Not to the grass. This is for me. So that's nice. Right. Now this way. Yes. Little better. Just nicer.
Lovely.
Yeah. Hindquarters. That's the leg. Remember, that's the foot. Foot she protects herself more on. Remember?
Yep.
When I ask her to move out from me, I'm not looking at her. I'm looking at the space behind her. Do you see?
Yep.
It'll be too personal for her if I look at her. So I'm looking down here. I'm looking here. And I'm turning her, and I'm looking down there for that front. Now I'm looking at the back there. I want that space there. Go. Yes, thank you. See? It's not personal then to her.
Well, just looked at that now. What an amazing little clip that is. The difference between, you know, the first time I met her, not giving me space, totally threatening, and that little clip there just showed a completely different horse. How good this groundwork is, getting to the feet, the little bubble thing about our space, their space, and the acceptance that she's showing there. She's giving me all the space in the world. She's just going along with it. Everything's just pucker, feeling good, and I hope you all notice the difference there. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, it's all right for you. You've got special gifts to be able to get that job done, to get that done like that. Guys, I had no gifts when I started this 25 years ago. I was struggling like anyone else with certain things with horses. Knowledge is what gives you, the knowledge is power. Knowledge gives you confidence. It's only by the effort I've put in to learning what to do and then practicing it with a lot of, I've been lucky to practice it with a lot of different horses. So it is achievable. That is achievable for people one thing you do have to have, you've got to be dedicated to something. Anything that's above ordinary is not easy to achieve, and you have to have a certain form of of dedication. But guys, it is achievable with enough effort. Definitely, you know. So knowledge, it's all about the knowledge you pick up from other people and then putting that into practice. That's all it is. It's, you know.
But how does she know that you want her to do that then?
Because they know everything. They know our intentions. She knows now I want movement.
Yeah.
And when I soften within myself and my gaze changes from taking the space, remember with wild horses, it's all about space. Any nature, it's all about moving. They move in each other. That's what they're doing constantly. And the one that can move the other horses,
yeah,
he's the man or the mare.
So it's incredibly easy to give her the wrong signals.
Yes. If they move us even slightly, and I get moved now and again, but I'm at a stage where I've recognised and I think, damn it, I did it. She moved me then, or he moved me then. It meant a lot to the horse. So just that little bit of movement in here and me asking for my space and rewarding her for anything good. Can you see how it can change?
Oh.
You know, that's come quick. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, again, I was too, do you see? You know, I was too quick then. She felt vulnerable with her head down there with me. She was trusting me as much as she could. So I've got to halve everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've got to halve everything. With some horses, you have to double everything up. You know, some horses, you know, have I got to, I'm 15 years of age now. I know I'm not going to get hurt, you know, and all that. So you got to, but this mare now, there's something showing up. Something's happened, and that's why she was abandoned, without a doubt. You know, again, there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So all I'm showing you so that you know you've got to like maybe. But I've noticed the way you are with her. You are quite quiet, aren't you? You've learned to be probably with her. If it's too quick.
Yeah, yeah. You'll get a reaction if you do anything too fast.
Right. But you know, she's going to keep going, but we've got to work on her. She's got to keep an amount of air in her lungs. We've got to get to that stage, unfortunately, with her. If she decides to move, then that's her choice. she can work. Okay.
So we're about 30 minutes now from Dan arriving, and I'd planned this, what's going to happen now. You just saw the first tiny process of what I'm about to do. Now this is where I have to make Willow's idea to stand without being held, because she would have always been held for all of the footwork trimming, for being jabbed and everything. So this is where I'd set up a process to finish with making it Willow's idea to not move. Now I learned this in the States a long time ago with a very famous gifted horseman who was given a horse to trim or to pick the feet up at a demonstration, and he was kind of set up with it because the horse, there's no way, I mean it's pretty much a wild horse, that they couldn't pick the feet up. It came through the grapevine that they tried ropes and everything, people before, obviously, you know, and there was no way it's happening. So I remember vividly the way he did it in a round pen. Now a horse has got fight or flight. For flight, a horse knows when it's got no air in its lungs left, or it's getting depleted, and they start to listen more when they're when they're getting very tired. So I witnessed him do it. This horse, every time he looked at a foot, the horse would move, so he'd send him out and he'd work him, and okay, he got a big sweat on this horse had, and he'd have to move him out many times, but each time he thought about moving, he would move him, and then he'd hook onto him, bring him back in to the centre of the round pen, and then he'd look again, and then the horse started not moving, and then he'd give him a break, and then he'd rub down his leg, and the horse didn't move. And that's the way he did it. I've used it many times. You have got to know what you're doing to do this, to be perfectly honest. You have got to be careful, and I've kind of got it down quite good now, and that's what I'm going to do with Willow. Same principle. I'd got a rasp and things in my hand. She'd seen that there was something going on here now. You know, I'd picked one of the feet out a little bit, which was different than I'd done before. So she got a little bit, oh dear, what's going on here? And she decided to move. I knew she would. So that was the first time it happened, just what you've seen. It then goes on. I've had to clip it down because it went on for about maybe 25 minutes. Every time she decided to move, I moved her one way, then the other, till she wanted to stop. Then I'd bring her back in. I'd close her down, bring her back into me, settle her for a second, maybe lower her head a little bit, and then look at the foot again, go down. And it happened just in time, actually. But Dan would have had to wait. But yeah, it happened, and she said, "Nah, I'm not moving. Have my feet. I'm getting tired. I'm considering you now more." And she didn't move. Pretty much all the whole thing then. She just said, "Nah, you carry on, boys." So it was her idea. Our idea became her idea. So it's interesting for you to see that.
Maybe someone's nicked her with a nail, you don't know, see? Do you know what I mean? Someone might have knocked a nail into her foot.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I'm trying to make this her idea to stand now. And the more little breakdowns we get, the better. Do you understand what I mean? The more she flees, you'd think, oh no, no. You know, we're having a big breakdown here. Hopefully there'll be a breakthrough with it, you know what I mean? Give it a break now for that.
They're not me. How do they go on?
Something that gets missed with a lot of difficult horses with their feet around farriers is the farrier smell, the farrier chaps. Now, fortunately, I've got a spare, another pair of chaps that Dan has given me, that if we've got a horse that's worried about the chaps, wearing the chaps and the smell, that I can just check out. Now, I needed to check that before he came, just to make sure I put them on, and, you know, and she was absolutely fine with them. She'd got to a stage where she just didn't want me to, she was considering, she just wanted to stand, let us get on with it, because she knew I'd just send her out, and she was starting to feel confident that she wasn't going to get hurt with us. So yeah, that was fine. We're all ready now. Dan's just about to turn up. See how we get on.
We have had a bit of fun. Yeah.
That's good. Right, that's good.
Yeah.
This is Sarah, Dan.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, what I thought, Dan, you just meet the horse first, lead around, give her a rub, and then I'll pick the feet up before we start. Just running away. I haven't contained her much, just rub on a little bit. Rub her now, both sides. Yeah, and then just back her up a little bit. But you've got to go half with everything with her, Dan. She's got, you know, can be quite reactive. Yeah. So.
What's that rasp on the floor, Babs? Oh, go away, wind.
Well, she's quite all right here. So, yeah. Try not to contain her. If you feel like you're getting somewhere, I'd leave her, you know what I mean? Give it a few breaks, maybe. farrier. Hopefully we'll be able to tie her with one of our clips, set up one of these up, so while she's been being trimmed, there's some positive there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Tell me when she's avoiding because I'll take the lick away.
Yeah.
And then remember, retreat
Yeah, I just want to.
when you think it's a good time to retreat.
It's good how she's kept it unloaded, isn't it?
Well, that's that.
You know.
That's that. Right, in you go.
Yeah.
And you touch the foot. So when he's touched the foot now, she can have a lick. And she's not invading my space for this. Now, she's loving this. She's got the taste for this now. You have to find out. There's several, isn't there, Tanya? Several types Charlotte gets.
Yeah, they there's and they
several
in
different
fact they love
types.
them all.
The what?
They love them all. Ours
No.
do.
The fact that we're all just talking now makes a big difference to her. We're not all anticipating. So they're really chilled out and they're bollock proof and they're, you know,
Okay.
that's what old grandma's horse means. You tell me, Dan, when to take this away, all right? So you can understand if they love something so much, by resistance, they lose this. So you're using it as another tool. Oh, she loves this. It's nearly all gone. We should have bought two.
I think it's good. She's sort of, oh, I want it back a bit now.
Yeah.
And then you give it to her, and then she's like, all right, have it again. So
Really?
it's not that.
So you're telling me there's a feel to this, farrier? There's a feel. It's
That's
not
the
just
in
black
between.
and white. There's something in
Pressure.
between.
There's
There's something in between. Very good saying. I will say that. Awesome.
Yeah, like she doesn't lose the plot completely, you know. It's not like how I'm having it.
Well, she used to use the plot,
Yes.
and she still could, you know. But
Yeah.
with the man, who are you, Dan James Farrier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dan James Farrier. A little plug. He does risk his neck though with some of the horses I do. So. Lovely note on that foot, because remember that was the last one
Yep.
we did.
Yep.
So I think that's helped, and a little bit of this, you know, she's loving that.
Yeah.
But it'll go away if she pulls back.
Yeah.
If she takes her foot away, Dan will tell me, the feed will go. She might be running around here, you know, until she's a little bit tired. So it's her idea, but this is going so well now, you know. Tell me when. Tell me when to give it back. So she went to pull away then,
Yep.
got tense, she lost the feed. It was her idea in the end to lose the feed. And then by relaxing with the foot, she can have her feed. Now if I could back her away from her feed. Right. Right, there you go, now she can have it. So we'll let her finish that now. We'll start to clear everything up. We'll leave it on that note.
Yes.
Uh,
Definitely. I agree.
And then
Brilliant.
I'll message you with... So that's it now, our session's done.
Just in time for the rain.
Just in time for the rain. Now, the last you know, I always say it's that last minute of a date or whatever they say that means the most, you know. So the last thing a horse experiences is the first thing a horse learns. So her last experience of today and us is chilling out in the round pen, eating a little bit of lush, little lick there, chilled out, feet done. It's the best way to end anything like that, and she'll remember this, you know. And the next session I'm doing is going to involve Sarah doing a little bit of round penning. Willow, it is Willow, isn't it?
Yeah, Willow.
Willow. Me and names. Yes, I am. Tanya, put the double price together. Right. So yeah, the next session is Sarah round penning and Sarah doing 3 basic exercises to the stage where she's bored with them, till she says, yes, I've got it, because that's what's important. And then we can move on from that day, whatever direction it's all going to head, whether you're going to ride her eventually and all of that. But that's the next stage, isn't it? So yeah, so that's the end of today. We're going to go home now, and yeah, good, brilliant. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, kiddo.
Okay, so we're nearly at the end of the video, but today, this was the 4th visit. I went for an hour today and we built it up to a point where I knew I had to give Sarah a lesson, you know, a lesson with Willow to try and get a bit of respect going, because remember, the history has not been good. Now, I will tell you that Sarah has got quite bad arthritis. My mum had it really bad, come on, a little bit like Sarah. Sarah does have trouble sort of moving too quickly, and she does suffer with it. But, you know, fair play, she had a lesson today, and the following clips are of how she got on. She was very nervous about having a lesson because she was convinced that she wasn't going to get any respect because of how things had been between them. And I think to a certain extent, Willow has took kind of advantage a little bit as well, with Sarah not being able to move too quickly. But she had a lesson, and I made sure that lesson went well. And although it was kind of reluctant, I've been allowed to put a couple of clips on of Sarah, you know, getting down to the feet, getting some respect. So I'm going to play those now for you to see how she got on. It ended unbelievably well, and Sarah said she's never felt so good about Willow ever, and I made her practice till she got the exercises good enough, ready for her to keep practicing, because she just wants to practice now and get those good. So I'll show you that now.
When you're ready. Look at that. Nice job. Yes. Give it a little rub. And again. You decide the distance. And if she stops immediately, you don't need to back her up too much. Oh my life, how did that feel? Nice. That's enough, that's enough. Perfect, that was brilliant.
Sorry, I thought you said back up to me.
Oh, I might have done. How does that feel?
Absolutely brilliant.
A little bit empowering. See if you can get one hind quarter yield and then walk away, because there's no way she would have done this for you before. So look at it, look, drive with your other hand, drive around, lovely. Now walk out, lovely. How does that feel? Walk this way now then.
Again.
Yeah, see if you can lower her head and see how that feels to you. Alright, so think it, bend your knees a little bit. Yes.
Oh,
How's that feel?
lovely.
Huh? And she's lit. Look where she's left it for you. Now go to her again. Give her a rub. Now just tip her nose towards you when you go, and then walk around. Go on, pluck her. then change direction. Right, not towards or away from her when you turn your clucker. Right, now just pressurise her a bit with your tapping until she looks at you. Go on, just pressurise her till she looks and then walk away. Bit more, bit more, bit more. There you go. Now go to left or right, see whether she follows you with her eyes. Right? Go on. Hey! Now give her a little rub. Give her a rub. Now go the other way. The club. See if she follows you. Wow. You've got her kind of hooked, you see? See how she's following you? You know? So just see your clucker coming that way a bit. Yes, yes. Now rub her forehead. And that's how you start. Do you know what I'm saying? So all you do when you practice in the round pen, if she loses you, you bit of pressure till she doesn't.
So how was that? That was just great, wasn't it? I mean, Tanya was saying on the way back in the car how fantastic that was to see. Now, you've all just seen over the course, okay, it's been an hour and a half, 2 hour video, but the 4 visits I've had, you've seen the change in that horse. I mean, it was very lost, it was very dangerous. I'm not saying it's not dangerous now, and there is more work to do and we have to keep on top of it. And I'll be keeping involved. You know, we're going to trim her in about 6 weeks after my demo that I'm doing. We're going to trim again, do some more work, keep a vigil, and then maybe the spring then move on to maybe another stage of maybe thinking about riding a horse, because that is Sarah's dream. You know, in this universe is if you dream something up enough, it'll happen. So Sarah would just love to eventually ride Willow on the beaches. She lives near the beaches. You know what? Let's hope it happens, and I will keep a video posted. So yeah, so that's that done now. I will say I've got what did you ask me to mention, Tanya? The demo that's coming up. Yeah, we've got another demo. We did one, the first one we've ever done. It was about a month ago. I was very nervous about that. Never done it before, and you know what? It went absolutely brilliantly. The horses were great. The horses that we had come in for various issues all worked out great. Now, there's been such shocking for me, such a positive vibe from it. We've had so many messages. We're doing another one more this year, same venue. Next year we'll be doing different venues, but it's the date is, I think, the 13th, Tanya. 13th. Saturday the 13th of November. We've got another demo at Moor Farm Equestrian Centre in Haverfordwest. How do you top a demo that was so good? I thought, how are we going to top that? Do you know what? We've got some great ideas. I think we've got 5 horses come in there that with various issues to work with.
Couple of surprises.
Yeah. Plus our own horses. I think it's going to be a great demo. I really do. Sure it will be. And look forward to seeing people there. So that's something for us to look forward to now and to start working towards, because we've spun some ideas of what we're going to do and whatever. So I think that's about it. Again, I always get I've got Tanya there going, share and like. So yes, if it is a great video, I think this, for sharing on, because there are a lot of...
We do very much appreciate it.
Yes, we do. So yeah, if you can share it and like it, that'd be fantastic. I think by sharing it that a lot of people will get something from this.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you now with a little tiny clip of Sarah and Willow. It's a clip, I really like the clip. It's only a tiny one. I'll leave you with that, and like I say, happy trails, and catch you next time.
And she's look where she left it for you. Wow. Is that the best you felt around her, really? Would you say?